Hello everybody, so this is Babel Audio. I'm here to go over some things and show you how this, company works. So initially, everyone knows about the English P4 project where you speak for 15 minutes to someone else. And that can take 15 minutes to talk. And that's where if you don't like talking very much or coming up with ideas or things like that, it can be a little difficult or annoying at times. And, I don't know about you, but I don't really like talking to someone for 15 minutes straight about a random topic. The other one is the English Assistant Project. That one I luckily got approved for. That one you definitely have to watch the video and answer the quiz questions and make sure you pass it or else you won't get approved. And the other one is the English Companion that was just released 2 weeks ago. Obviously, this one looks like it pays more than the English Assistant, but it looks like it's still pending. And then, go into the activity and feedback. I'll show you how it looks here. You can see the amount of calls I took, how much I have made. You can see when I first started, I first started early March. I only got approved for a certain amount of calls, which is where they're, trying to test to make sure you can speak and have your mic, which is good. You can see I didn't make that much. And then the second week, you can see I definitely got approved for more calls and was able to take more calls, which shows I got paid more. And then for the next week after that, I got approved for more calls, as you can see there, and obviously got paid more. And then it just keeps going up. Next week, I got approved for the maximum amount of calls I can take, and I definitely worked on my own time and my own hours, and now I'm at 1,037. And this is how it's looking here, and this is the project English Assistant. You can see I got approved for the maximum amount of 125 calls, which is a massive amount. And you can see you can make about $2.40 or 20 cents per call, and each call can take about 3 minutes to 4 minutes for that English Assistant project, which I feel like is the best one. Obviously, it pays more and it's very simple. You're just reading a script and you're reading a script with someone else. It's not very difficult at all as long as you can speak English well. And you can see when I first started, I didn't have a very good mic. You can see some of the issues there, subtle white noise, which is one of the main things that definitely aggravated me and annoyed me because I kept getting that flagged. And I'll show you the kind of mic that I will be using or currently am using that negates those issues. And when you do get QA'd well, you can see it all has all the green bars, and that's when they increase the amount of calls that you can take. I believe by default, you only take, only 5 calls, I think, for the 15-minute conversation one, and then you only give you 6 calls by default for the English Assistant project if you get approved for it. And the issues, if there are any issues, they'll tell you, semi-frequent turn exchanges means you're not speaking enough. And ones that fail, you can see the example there, multiple audio disruptions. So either maybe I bumped the mic too much, or someone was talking in the background, or someone was outside yelling. And then the issues there, if it says has issues, it won't fail you or bring your call amount down. It just lets you know what you need to work on. You can see there, do your best to read ahead. I probably was stumbling for the English Assistant project, maybe the 1 or 2 words that I couldn't pronounce well, but it's okay, and as long as you don't stumble that much, they won't fail you and they'll still bump up. And then again, issues, subtle white noise. You can see this is when I first started using my gaming mic, which I do not recommend, but if you have to use it, then go ahead. But again, you're at risk of failing a call if your mic doesn't do well, and then they won't increase your call volume or amount of calls. And they can, you can classify to see what calls they QA'd or quality assured or checked for each week. And if they QA a call well, and then it will increase each call or call amount by 3. So if you are only approved for 6 calls for the English Assistant project, and they QA a good call, then it'll increase it to 9. So each call that you do well on, and they quality checks, then it will increase it by 3 each time. And I'm just showing you what each call looks like for every time. For each time they QA a call, they'll let you know, and they can show you what it is and what the issue is and which project it is. Again, the issues, luckily they didn't fail me, but you can see they write out what the issue is. This is when I was using the gaming mic. Again, I didn't interject enough, which means you'll learn when you're asker or expert, you have to reply to some of the prompts but you're not speaking like you are in the 15-minute projects, which I definitely did not like because I just don't like talking for that long to someone randomly. And then I'll show you what the email communications look like. In the beginning, you can see my call limit for the English assistant went from 6 to 1 because they QA'd only one call and it failed. Usually it should have went to 3, but I think they QA'd 2 calls that were not very good. I don't know why it says 1 of 1, but yeah, it went to 1. So definitely don't be discouraged or disappointed. If you feel like you did well on a call, definitely email Babel support and let them know to QA that specific call, and I'm pretty sure they will. And then once they do, they can increase your limit. And as you can see, the more calls that they QA'd, again, it's random. It's not something specific. So you definitely have to make sure you do well on every single call. And you can see I jumped from, I think I deleted the other emails, but I went from 1 to 5, and then from 5 to 12, and now I'm at 15 to 19. And then as you can see in the emails, it went from, pretty much jumped from, I deleted the other ones, but the more calls that they QA'd, obviously they give you the more limits to take calls. So now 31 to 71, they QA'd more calls, 71 to 99, and yeah, I'm just showing you, look at that. See, they QA'd 10 calls and 0 out of 10 of them failed. So I got increased dramatically. And now I'm at 125, and that's the max. So just can't mess up anymore, which I don't see how I can. Sometimes they do milestone bonuses. 10 calls, you do 60 calls, you get $90 bonus, and they definitely pay it out right away. When they do payouts every Tuesday. And I got the bonuses on Wednesday, I believe. So they're very consistent with how they do the payouts, and I'll show you here. They use the company Dots, and you can see my payout for last week, or for March 28th, that is, or 2 weeks ago. And I use Venmo. Before, they used 3 methods. They have PayPal, Venmo, and you can do transfer to your bank directly. I tried to do the bank transfer, but it didn't work. I don't know why. I didn't try emailing Dots. It was just too much of a headache. So I just ended up doing it transfer to Venmo, and there has been no issues with Venmo. From Venmo, I transferred to my bank, and yeah, no problems there. Very swift, smooth process. No problems with the payouts. Very consistent. And yeah, this is the mic that I use. After the gaming mic kept failing on me, it kept failing, so I decided to buy this mic. I used it for working from home at CVS. That worked well too. But it's only $22. Very cheap, not expensive at all. You can see the ratings are very high, and it's high for a reason. And then you can see here it has a little knob at the bottom where you can turn it up if you aren't coming out very loud. And then if there's issues, or if you think you're expecting a loud noise, you can turn it down real quick if you're taking a call, and it can help reduce, make sure there's no sounds in the background. Like if someone comes in the room or if someone's yelling in the background, it will do that. I can show you here, this is the microphone. If you have NVIDIA graphics card, or I'm not sure exactly how it works if you don't have one, but I use the NVIDIA broadcast, and you can see here it shows you every time there's a sound or if you're talking. So if there's some kind of outlying noise, and you want to make sure there's no noise in the background, because if there is, they can ding you on that and fail your call. And you want to make sure you want to check noise removal, check the room echo removal. Those two will definitely make your calls work perfectly, and there'd be no issues with the sound quality. I guarantee you, 100% guarantee. No way am I affiliated with the mic, or affiliated with NVIDIA or anything like that. I just want to make sure that you use a very good mic that works for you. And you can test the sound too. You can record your voice and listen to yourself there. But yeah, that's what it is. NVIDIA Broadcast, that is what changed my quality of each call. No issues after I switched to this, and you can see I went from one call being QA'd, only able to take one call, to now I'm at 125 in less than a month. And here I am just showing you the project again, getting started. And yeah, if you want to get started, if you have any questions, leave a comment down below. I will answer them, as soon as I can. And if you want to sign up, feel free to, if you want to use my referral code. Obviously, in the onboarding process, make sure you use a decent mic and there's no background noise. You want to make sure you get accepted into this project. I got accepted the next day after I applied. Some I've read on Reddit where it takes them a whole month, so I'm not entirely sure what the time frame is. Just want to make sure your testing audio when on the onboarding process is clear. And yeah, and it's I think the identification, you need to submit a identification driver's license. I just omitted out the driver's license numbers and your address, and just so there's no personal information there. But yeah, there's nothing that's too shady. If you have any questions, again, just leave a comment. That's pretty much it.